what I want to do is share with you some ideas on basics of Tai Chi for everyday people like you and I. I mean, here I am working out of my home office. I'm not often able to go to away to Tai Chi classes. We live in a world now where we do a lot more online stuff. And I want to share some of the many things I've learned over the years, practicing with my teacher, my master teacher, Master Yang or Yang Yang. And he can be found at wachi.com. I'll put the address right here. It's a great online Tai Chi and Qigong place to go to study and learn Tai Chi and Qigong. I highly recommend it. So check that out. But I want to share with you some ideas and techniques on Tai Chi and Qigong because it's very beneficial and really good for health. And there's a lot to learn. So I'm probably going to do a lot of videos talking about this and try to relate to you, the everyday home person. I'm going to show you tips and ideas and tricks in the home, how to apply Tai Chi and Qigong throughout your regular everyday life. What does that mean? Well, there's the skill involved, learning the forms of Tai Chi and Qigong, but it's also applying it to everyday life. So for example, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, I'm going to be spending some time around family. I want to make sure that I'm well. My energy is really good for family and friends. You want to make sure you take care of your energy. You want to take care of your mind, your body, your spirit. And there's a lot of things that I do, a lot of practices I've employed over the years for a very long time that help me with my everyday life, with my professional life, my personal life, my family life, my friend life, so forth and so on. So I want to share some of that stuff with you. Some of the things I want to talk about have to do with, for example, with Tai Chi and Qigong, there's a lot of silk reeling energy, they call it. And a lot of it, basically, the fundamentals might be, think about it this way: when you're applying your movements, you're not just moving your arms, you're actually twisting your arms, twisting your movements, because there's a lot of movement. Your hands, your whole body actually has a lot of fluidity to it, a lot more than you think. If you think of it this way, your fingers move this way, in circles or so forth, that you want to have that limber, soft flexibility when you're doing your movements. And you'll see a lot of times when people are doing Tai Chi movements, there's a very beautiful, soft flow to their movements. It's never rigid and hard. And you start off with what you're capable of doing. You never want to push too far. As my teacher teaches, you don't want any pain. No pain, no gain, or less pain, all gain. You don't want to hurt yourself. So when you're doing the movements, you want to make sure that you're using soft flexibility, soft and smooth and fluid flexibility when you're doing your movements. The other thing is also posture. You see, because posture with Tai Chi and Qigong, it teaches you upright posture. In fact, a lot of martial arts teaches you the upright posture, and it's never like this, over stiff. It's kind of a relaxed, standing up straight mentality. Like my teacher teaches, pretend you're 1 inch taller or 2 inches taller, and there's a real important science behind that it actually makes you stronger and healthier, being taller, having good, solid posture. So I want to talk to you about that, and just in a laid back, relaxed way. I don't want to set up a big fancy studio and do that type of recording for these videos. Some of these videos, some of them I will, some I'll be out in nature, but a lot of it I want to be able to just do it kind of casually like this, just kind of in my office, because I actually do a lot of my exercise right here in my office. I'll do standing meditation, I'll do sitting meditation, and sometimes laying down meditation, believe it or not. But you can do it anywhere. And that's kind of what I want to get across. What else? So back to posture. Posture is really important because even working at a computer, having your shoulders slouching is bad for you anyway. Neck posture, keeping yourself up straight when you're working at a computer, or, like you're on a keyboard or whatever. So you want to maintain posture. You want to maintain posture driving. You want to maintain posture walking. You want to maintain posture when you're cutting the lawn, when you're even playing the guitar. You want to maintain posture. You don't want to hunch over. So posture is really important. So I'm going to show you some exercises right out in my driveway. I'm going to talk about energy cultivation, because there's a lot of energy cultivation in Tai Chi and Qigong as well. And what does that mean? Let me talk about energy for a second. Everything we do, everything we are has to do with energy. We're made of energy. Our cells have energy behind it. If you remember the basics in school of, learning the basic science behind cellular walls and the energy and the mitochondria and the chromosomes and the ATP and there's so many components to the cell that all has to do with energy. Let's break it down even further to molecules and atoms. They're full of what? They're full of energy. And so everything's about energy. Everything has energy in it. It's not the electricity and energy that powers up all of the things we use today. That's electricity, which is, again, a form of energy. But energy is inside of us all the time. So when you're feeling down and blah, that's kind of a down and blah energy. And when, you're feeling up and like I just went for a nice walk, I call it a power walk, where I'm walking faster, I'm breathing good, solid, deep breaths. I'm walking with appreciation and gratitude in nature, and I'm sort of taking it in, positive energy, and building that up. At the end of the walk, you have a lot more energy. It's a no-brainer. So exercising and moving your body is important to build some of that energy. So I'm going to talk about energy cultivation exercises, like gathering energy from the earth, as I was taught, gathering energy from nature. And there's a very strong mind-body connection with getting energy. So for example, you can kind of see through the windows there, you see the trees, and I'm going to show you that outside. But going next to the trees, going next to my pine trees or the oak trees or maple trees, and visualizing gathering and pulling energy into your heart area, into your body. Just imagine the energy in that beautiful tree, and you're pulling it inside of you. There's a beautiful exercise with that, gathering energy from nature and from the earth. It's phenomenal. And what's really important, I really want to get this across, is that when you're doing exercises, when you're doing Tai Chi and Qigong exercises, it's really important to allow yourself to get into that zone, to get into the mentality that you're really, truly gathering energy from something, that you're building up energy. There's some great breathing exercises I'm going to teach you that are very, very simple. But for example, when you're gathering a breath, that'll show you sort of down from below, and I'm bringing my hands up into my chest area, my lower dantian to my upper dantian, bringing it up. I'm literally doing a reverse breathing where my diaphragm is coming in, my chest is going out, and I'm imagining as I'm doing this up movement, I'll do it really quick like this. I'm imagining beautiful, beautiful, bright blue energy coming up into my body as I'm taking the breath, and I'm imagining it going through my circulation system before I do my out breath and exhaling. So using your mind and your imagination, creativity to imagine this happening. And it's not crazy, it's not foolery, it's actually, it's evidence-based, it's science-based, it's factual, it's been around for thousands of years, literally. Many hundreds and thousands of years. I'll get into that later. I have some podcasts, some blogs, some articles, and some videos on the history of Qigong and Tai Chi. It's very, very complex, but it's very, very cool. But there's a lot of science to that, and there's a lot of evidence to energy cultivation. There's such a thing as too much energy too, and that's the beauty of meditation. So there's also a soft practice too. You have to know when to calm down, when to calm your mind and your body, and exercise relaxation. Again, so I come from a strong judo background, and judo basically means the gentle way. It's treating yourself and others with gentleness. But being gentle doesn't mean floppy and, not engaged. There's a gentle way of doing things. And that's what I love about Tai Chi and Qigong too, is that there's a gentle nature, a very gentle, nurturing tendency to this art. It's absolutely spectacular. So I just want to share some of that stuff with you. I wanted to introduce myself and introduce these videos and tell you a little bit what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So hopefully you'll enjoy some of what I'm about to show you. Thank you. So one of the skills they teach, Master Yang teaches at Wachi.com, is energy cultivation and nurturing. So what does that mean? Energy cultivation is building up the right amount of energy in your body that you use sparingly through the day. If you extend too much energy, too much effort, you're going to get tired, you're going to get stressed, you're going to have problems. Nurturing is taking care of that energy. So it's kind of like working with money. If you get a lot of money, you take care of it and you treat it right, it'll serve you well. If you blow it all, you lose all your money, you're in big trouble. Well, with energy, it's the same way. So if you nurture your energy, gentle exercises, which I'm going to show you another one now that I learned through my teacher, Master Yang, is gathering energy. And gathering energy from the earth or gathering energy from nature. So if you look around, if you look at nature, you think about it, everything has energy. And in my yard here, you know, we have trees, big beautiful trees that have energy. You know, everything has life going into it. I mean, here's a tree that was cut down, which has the roots and the nutrients go up through the tree, and all of the energy comes up through the tree. This is a very old tree, and the inside was dying, so we had to get rid of this poor little bugger here. But all of these good trees have a lot of really good energy behind it, are going up inside of it. You know, starting from, actually it starts from that little guy over there, the sun. So the sun, you know, gives it its energy to the leaves, and it also relies on the roots. So the energy goes up through the roots, the nutrients in the ground, up through the tree, all the way up into the branches and into the leaves. So there's energy all around. So what this exercise does, and again, I'm trying to show you how easy it is to do the exercises in your own home, in your own environment, without needing a special studio or you know, any kind of fancy clothing. Again, just a nice cool day outside today, and I'm going to show you a couple of different exercises that I learned from Master Yang at Wachi.com. Again, that's WA-Chi, well, it's WA-QI.com. And this exercise, there's a couple of exercises that you can learn at Wachi.com that I learned, that I do quite a bit. In fact, I'm doing this before I go on a phone call to gather some energy. It's fresh air, which is really good. It's really good to intake the air, and breathing correctly is really important for these exercises as well. So while you're doing these exercises, I'm going to show you some of how you breathe. But let's talk about gathering energy from nature first. So over here we have a bunch of trees, and over here, which I could try to show you, I have a beautiful view. Doesn't quite show the same unless you're here, but there's a beautiful view out there of the hills. Okay, there. So I kind of focus on that. So I'll often do a lot of my standing meditation and then in that direction over there, sometimes over here, and sometimes I'll do it right over here in front of the trees. But gathering energy from nature it's part psychological and it's part physical. And with Tai Chi and Qigong, they work together. They work very well together, like the yin yang symbol, work very well together. And gathering the energy from nature is sort of looking out at nature and imagining all of the energy that's around us through nature, and we're reaching for it, and we're bringing it into our soul, into our heart, into our bodies. So psychologically we're doing that because we're bringing in fresh, nutrient-dense energy from nature, and bringing it inside to our bodies, into our hearts, into our core, into our center. So again, some of the same principles will apply where you're working with the silk reeling energy. You know, we're thinking about twisting and turning, and that's going to help your ligaments and tendons, and you're going to be building strength. It's going to work on stretching, you know, being able to stretch. So for example, gathering energy from nature, I'll often stand here and just take a few breaths, a few deep breaths, a few shallow breaths, doesn't matter, but just take some breaths and relax your body. I think that's the most important thing, is to just relax everything in your body and get yourself in a really relaxed state of mind. It's really easy to do because it only takes maybe a few minutes each day, and I like to do this several times throughout the day. And you can do it anywhere. You can do it in your living room, you can do it in your backyard, you can do it in your front yard, you can do it on vacation, you can do it anywhere. And so you stand with your feet sort of shoulder width apart, and you know, hopefully if you're in a beautiful place, you sort of focus on that location. I'm looking at that beautiful view with the trees, and what you're doing is you're keeping your balance. Again, you don't want to lean over this way, you don't want to lean over that way, you don't want to lean back too far, you don't want to lean forward too far. You want to be balanced, and this with your feet shoulder width apart. Your toes are slightly angled out, and you're shifting. Again, you're shifting, weight shifting. Master Yang talks about quite a bit in his programs, or he's taught me many times, is weight shifting. You know, being able to shift your weight. That declines as you age, so the more you work on it, it won't decline as much. So weight shifting is, again, keeping your core, your center, and being able to shift it. So we're shifting our weight. Ultimately, let me show you the exercise first. It's reaching out for nature as far as you can reach, grasping your hands together and pulling. It's almost like a tug of war, like you're pulling on a rope, but you're bringing the concentrating energy into your dantian, this area of your body down here. You're reaching and pulling it in, and then you're sucking. I'm sucking my gut in a little bit, and then releasing an out breath to reach out. Reach in. So as I reach in, I'm really focusing and concentrating really hard on inhaling and bringing in energy from nature. It's just a beautiful, beautiful feeling to bring that energy inside of your dantian, inside of your core, inside of your heart. So bringing that in, and then on the out breath, releasing the bad air. Okay, so it's just on an exhale. So it's inhale and exhale. And it's not fast, it's actually really fluid. And you're not leaning over, you're shifting your weight slightly, very slightly. And you're pulling in and releasing. Pulling in, breathing out. But you don't have to be so loud. In fact, quiet is better. You can't even really hear me breathing, but I'm breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And again, I'll show a close-up here of my hands too. You know, you're breathing in, you're twisting your hands and grasping, bringing the energy in, but not too tight, not rigid tight, but just tight enough that it's have some strength. So you're going to build some strength and endurance in your hands and your muscles, your forearms, your shoulders. And then when you release, you're releasing. So tighten up and twisting and releasing. Tighten up a little bit, releasing. And again, getting a good stretch. You're getting a good stretch. Not leaning over too much, just stretching. It's almost like reaching out for that energy and pulling it in as best you can. You're shifting your weight a little bit back. You're reaching out and pulling in. And that's gathering energy from nature. So that's an exercise you can do. Do that for a couple of minutes and you'll start to feel a little more energetic. The other one is gathering energy from the earth, and it's the same idea, except this one here you can work on Master Yang teaches working on your pelvic floor, because what you're doing is you're grasping instead of this way, same stance, almost like a slight horse stance, if you will, but you don't need to do the horse stance, is you're reaching down to the earth. You're gathering energy, twisting your hands, I'll show you in a second, reaching down, pulling up into your core, and you're tightening your pelvic floor. It's kind of like tightening your inside groin muscles, tightening them up. So as you're pulling up, you're tightening up. And then when you're going down, you're releasing that. So again, when you're reaching down, you're grabbing down and twisting motion, silk reeling energy down, pulling up, tight, but not too tight, not rigid, but tight. And then relax. And pull up, relax. Pulling up, relax. Balance is important. Again, you're standing up straight. You're slightly reaching down, grabbing the energy, pulling it up inside. Sometimes you can close your eyes and imagine the energy coming up right up inside. When I do it, it goes right into my core, right up inside my heart, all the way up through my crown chakra, if you're into that kind of stuff, but it just fills my body with energy. And then relax. And pull. And again, I'm sucking my stomach in, reverse breathing, out. In with the stomach, out. And pulling in and pushing out. And it's not fast, and you can actually do it really slow, but just go at a nice, easy, steady pace and try to keep yourself upright. Don't lean like this. Keep your back straight. So you should be able to go up and down, up and down a straight line pretty much. And you don't want to hunch your shoulders up. You want to relax your shoulders, keep your shoulders kind of down and back. So you have good posture. Everything in Tai Chi is going to be based on good posture. You're gonna have better results by having that good posture. So reaching down, tightening your pelvic floor in, and then release. In. Sometimes the pelvic muscles, they talk about the Kegel maneuver. If you look up Kegel exercise, it's the same idea, just tightening up that region, which is good for incontinence, and it's good for sexual well-being and different things. But it's also good for all of the groin muscles and the hip muscles, all that kind of stuff. So that's what that's good for. But I do it for energy too. Good energy building exercise. Reaching down, pulling in. Remember, twisting up a little bit. In fact, a lot of these exercises sort of overlap, because the grand opening and closing is moving my energy from top to bottom, which I'll show you in a second. It's the same idea here as it is from gathering energy from the earth, where you're coming down here, you're pushing your energy back down and out. So there's a lot of Qigong exercises that focus on that, but I'm focusing on gathering energy from the earth, and that's what that is. Every time I do an exercise, Qigong, Tai Chi, you do a closing exercise. Okay, so grand opening and closing, I was wrong before, that's this. But a closing exercise would be closing the energy, which is more or less like putting your hands together and reaching up with your hands to the sky, and sort of pretend that you're, we'll also call it washing organs, where we're washing the energy out of our body from the top of our head down to the dantian area, the lower dantian area. This. So you're reaching up, you're going down, you're moving your energy down. I'll focus on that another time. And again, all this stuff can be taught at wachi.com, where my teacher teaches Qigong and Tai Chi and all kinds of other exercises and meditation practice. It's absolutely wonderful. Check it out, wachi.com. It's the absolute best. These are some of the basics. Thank you.